With AI, it becomes so much easier to do brand gap analysis. It is a gap between how a brand wants to be perceived and the actual experience and feelings of a customer towards the brand. And there are basically 6 brand gaps that Ahrefs has mapped out for easy reference. And we are going to talk about doing an analysis for each of them. Now, before we dive in, brand gap analysis should not be done by all brands and businesses. It really depends on where your brand is in the framework of AI visibility. Brand gap analysis should only be done by established brands in phase 3 and those that are transitioning from phase 2 into phase 3. If your brand is not in those stages, you will just be wasting your time focusing on the wrong things because your brand may not even be mentioned in AI searches. So if you want to know which phase your brand is in and the right strategies to implement at the right time, I highly recommend that you check out this video right here. It is the framework of AI visibility where I walk you through the phases from 0 mentions to brand authority in AI searches. The link is in the description. Anyway, once you have identified your brand is at phase 3, let's start with the visibility gap. The visibility gap tells you where you are simply appearing less than your competitors in AI responses. To find this, you don't need expensive software. You can do this manually using free AI tools. Assuming your brand is Notion, you start by building a prompt list of 10 to 20 high intent questions your customers will actually ask, which will seed brand mentions. You then go to ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Google Gemini to paste each of those prompts. So for example, we asked ChatGPT, what is the best note-taking app for teams? Notion was listed as the #1 option. That's great visibility. I ran 8 different prompts across categories like note-taking, wikis, project management, personal knowledge management, no-code databases, and OKR tracking. And here's what the scorecard looks like. Notion appeared in 6 out of 8 prompts. That sounds decent, but check this out. For what is the best tool for managing OKRs and goals, Notion was not mentioned. So if managing OKRs or objective key results and goals is a key feature of Notion, this is an opportunity to own that space. The visibility gap isn't just about whether you show up, it's about which prompts you are invisible for. If Notion is missing from every project management prompt, that is a gap that needs to be closed with targeted content and offsite mentions in that specific category. By the way, RankMath will be releasing a tool called RankMath AI Visibility that will help track your brand mentions and sentiment. And if it is already released, you will see the video right here. If not, check out the description. Now let's talk about the narrative gap. Just because you are visible doesn't mean AI is saying the right things about you. The narrative gap is the difference between how AI describes you and how you want to be positioned. To find this gap, go back to ChatGPT and Perplexity and ask direct questions about your brand. Prompt them with what are the pros and cons of your brand, or who is your brand best for. When I asked ChatGPT what are the main criticisms of Notion, here's what it actually said. The #1 criticism was slow performance as workspaces grow. Second was weak offline mode. And third was being too flexible and overwhelming. ChatGPT even quoted a common joke. Notion turns productivity into a hobby. Now here's the narrative gap. Notion's own marketing positions them as a beautiful all-in-one workspace that replaces every tool. But AI is describing them as a tool that is slow at scale, unreliable offline, and overwhelming for new users. That is a direct conflict. If Notion wants to close this gap, they need third-party content published that addresses these criticisms head-on. Case studies showing performance at scale, tutorials for beginners that reduce the overwhelm, and honest comparisons that reframe the too flexible criticism as a feature, not a bug. Another way to find narrative gaps is through commercial keywords, like what are the best knowledge management tools for engineering and structured organization. And as you can see, Notion is not mentioned as an enterprise-grade solution, but they are mentioned as the modern all-in-one workspace. Now, if Notion's goal is to win as an enterprise-grade solution, then there is a narrative gap that needs to be fixed. The format gap looks at how information is presented. Are you missing the specific content formats that AI always cites? For example, let's say that Notion has this article, Why Teams Should Choose Notion Over Asana, that targets the keyword Notion versus Asana. Notion does not have a YouTube video on that topic, nor other content format. So when we go to Google Gemini and type Notion versus Asana, check out the cited content. Reddit is being cited, Notion's blog post is cited, so we wouldn't worry about the blog format. Unless your blog is not cited, you've got to do something about it. Then we have YouTube videos, couple of them. And there are no other formats other than YouTube, Reddit, and blogs that are being cited. So in this sense, if Notion does not already manage their own Notion subreddit, they should create one. Notion does not have a YouTube video talking about the topic, so they should create the video. And the blog format is already cited. These are the two format gaps that Notion should work on. Don't just do it on Google Gemini, do it on ChatGPT, Perplexity, and others as well, and you will find many opportunities to optimize your brand. The topic gap identifies the keywords your competitors are associated with, but you are not. I tried to find some credible free tools for you, but I couldn't. Topic gap analysis tools are usually paid, but I have an alternative solution for you, but it requires multi-steps. The first step is to use Google Keyword Planner to find keywords that your competitors are ranking for. Download the data, and then you go to your Google Search Console to download your keywords report. And the final step is to attach those data to any AI platforms like ChatGPT and Perplexity to find the gaps. So we are on Google Keyword Planner. You want to click on Discover New Keywords and select the Start with a Website option. Add your competitor URL, select the worldwide data by removing any specific country or region, then select this option and hit Get Results. Once you have the data, you want to download it. Then go to your Google Search Console. On the Performance tab, you want to download the report. Once both reports are downloaded, you can upload them to ChatGPT or Perplexity for content gap analysis, and you will find many topics that your competitor is ranking for, but you are not. This is arguably the most important gap. Remember, branded web mentions are the strongest signal for AI visibility. If listicles and review sites mention your competitors but left you out, AI will do the same. To find these missing mentions for free, we are going to use Google Docs or advanced search operators. Let's say that we want to find pages that mention Obsidian for note-taking, but completely leave out Notion. Go to Google and here is the exact search string you need to use. And check this out. These are the exact pages that mention Obsidian but leaving out Notion. This is a good way for a brand to find out what pages are mentioning your competitors but leaving out your brand. So you can reach out to these pages to strike out a deal or start a business relationship with them. Let me explain the Google Docs so that you know how to use it on your own brand. You add the quoted brand name of your competitor as well as the exact niche keyword. In this case is best note-taking, because you want to find pages that mention your competitor's brand in the specific niche. But you do not want to see your competitor's brand's website, you do not want to see content from your own website, and you do not want to see any pages that includes your brand name. You can simply replace these placeholders accordingly, and you will find those web mention gaps. For more advanced search operators for competitor analysis, you can check out this video right here. I'm pretty sure you will find something useful. Finally, we have the demand gap. This measures whether people are actually searching for your brand, and you can track this for free using Google Search Console. On your Search Console, go to your performance and click on this. Ask it to show me only branded queries. And you want to apply this filter. Focus on brand plus feature keywords. For example, if there are search impressions for the keyword Rank Math AI Visibility Tracker, but we do not have that feature yet, that is a demand gap. Our customers want an AI Visibility Tracker 2 from us, but we do not have it yet. So we need to develop that feature. Another example would be if you are Notion and you are seeing queries like Notion versus Obsidian or Notion alternative for offline use, generating search impressions, but the page that is ranking for those keywords are not addressing the keyword intents directly, you have a demand gap. People are considering you, but you are not giving them the content they need to choose you over the competitor. Now, these are just some examples of the demand gap. Your brand's data will tell many different stories. You just have to do deep analysis to understand the underlying meaning of your keywords data. So if you want to win in AI search, you can't just rely on your own website anymore. You have to build a brand that the rest of the internet actually talks about. So run this step-by-step brand gap analysis and find where you are missing and start closing those gaps today. If you found this video helpful, do smash that thumbs up and let us know in the comments what brand gaps you found. Our channel is all about helping you grow your brand visibility and traffic. If you haven't subscribed to us yet, consider doing so. This is Jack from Rank Math. I'll see you in the next video.